Welcome back to the show, everyone.
Pete,
Yes.
you got spirit?
Oh, I have spirit. Listen, I've got plenty of spirit to boot. Listeners out there, my name's Pete.
And I'm Scott.
And these are the
movies that made us gay.
Yes, indeed.
Oh my God, Pete. We got
Yes.
to this movie.
Yeah.
It's only been 180 some episodes of the podcast.
Yeah.
But we finally got to our Bring It On.
The people have spoken.
The people have spoken. We almost did this episode the first year of our show. It was very close.
Yeah, very close. But we're here now. Mm-hmm. And we have a guest.
We do.
Would you like to introduce our guest?
Burr, it's cold in here. We must have our guest, Braden Davis, in the atmosphere.
But Braden. You're a homo, Braden.
If we would have been really prepared, we would have had our own, like, cheer raps.
Oh, man, that would have been so
this episode,
iconic.
but yeah.
No raps for me. I'm good. But
Hi, guys.
welcome back to the show.
It's so
Thank
good
you
to
so
see
much.
you.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. The Blue Lagoon.
Yeah.
The Blue
When was
Lagoon
that?
recorded
That was a long
November of 2019.
Pre-COVID.
Does that just feel like
We had
100
no
years ago?
idea.
We had
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
It was in the before times.
The coronavirus was just a twinkle in all of our eyes. Yep.
And hey, the Blue Lagoon has been kind of topical again.
Very topical.
lately.
Did you watch the Brooke
No,
documentary
I
on
haven't.
Hulu?
Did you?
It's great. I
oh, my
loved it.
gosh.
Mhm.
I don't have Hulu right now.
Oh, okay.
But I need to get it back
Yeah.
just for this.
Yeah.
And yeah, good for her reclaiming her time.
I mean, yeah.
All of the
it's
momager
Brooke.
stuff, I've
Yeah.
been listening to that. I mean,
Did you see
Wild.
the clip of her on Drew? Where they're
Drew
pretty
Barrymore?
much sitting on each other's laps.
Listen, if this were a Drew Barrymore interview, we would all be holding each other and crying
yeah.
right now. Listen, I love it, but yeah, I mean, I had no idea about all of that, all the
I
abuse and
had
stuff.
a pretty
Wild-
good
wild
idea
times.
about the turbulent relationship with the mother.
Well, everything you know about Terry Shields, you learned from.
Well, she's
Kathy
the
Griffin.
OG
Yeah.
momager.
She really is. She really is.
Scary.
Yeah.
Yep.
But also, like, we watched that movie.
I
How old
mean-
was she? 13?
Yeah. I think she was 13
Pretty
or 14.
naked.
She was 15.
Yeah.
Pretty naked.
Yep.
Are you sure she was 15? I thought she was 14. Well,
I think she was 15.
Either
but
way-
still doesn't make it any better. 15.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty Baby, on the
Yeah.
other hand, what is fucking insane.
Oh,
That's
God.
That's the movie that she did right before.
Yeah.
Well, that is, I haven't even touched that one yet. 'Cause,
Same, I
you
haven't
know,
quite- yeah,
it just,
yeah.
you're like, how old were you?
I can't,
Oh, God.
I can't.
But yes, I have fond memories of our Black Lagoon, our Blue Lagoon
Yeah.
episode.
Listeners, go back into the
Go back into the
catalog.
vault. It's a good
Yeah.
one. I love
You'll
that
just hear us
episode.
fawn over this cute blonde boy
Yeah.
over and over again.
Christopher Atkins.
He has a name.
Shout out.
Oh, we love you, Chris.
But we're here
We
today.
had you on today to talk about Bring It On, directed by
yes.
Peyton Reed, released
man.
August 25th, the year 2000. This movie
Wow.
is 23 goddamn years old. This has already passed its 15th, its 20-year reunion, and now it's on to 23.
But can I just say, when you watch it again, it feels every.
It's the most 2000s movie ever made.
Y'all, this is
feels all of
dated.
its 23 years.
It feels dated. I will say that.
There are certain elements about the story that we will get into that I think have aged really nicely that you do not see in teen movies of the late 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
We'll talk about those.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait.
We'll talk about all of that.
I have so many thoughts.
But there's also things that don't age as well, quite as well.
I wrote some down.
Yes.
As with any
As-
movie that is 23 years old.
Especially a teen movie.
Nuts, though.
Yeah.
Do either of you two remember seeing this in the theater?
So I wasn't allowed to see
Oh,
it in the
all right,
theater.
all right.
I know. I was one of those Veggie Tales kids.
The sexy cheerleader movie.
yeah, where they
Yeah.
were like,
Got it. Okay.
there's swearing, there's male cheerleaders.
Oh, no.
You know?
Yeah.
So I saw it on DVD at one of my friend's birthday parties.
I remember this DVD at the time was jam-packed with special
this
features.
had to
so many
It was
special
like
features.
an early big push from Universal with
Yes.
just DVD too.
Yeah.
I
what
do
a
remember
good-
that.
What a good, like, slumber party
It
sleepover
was.
movie.
This was
Yeah.
like, you know,
it's
how
made
it was
for-
like the
it's
Matrix.
made for slumber parties.
The Matrix and this
Yeah,
were
yeah.
like the two movies everyone would talk about.
That's funny.
Which is so funny because
That's
they couldn't be
great.
more different.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pete, did you see this in the theater? I was asking you this last night.
I did. I saw it in the theater because I was in college at this time in the year 2000, and
year 2000.
yes, and most of my friends were still straight at the time, and I'm still friends with all of my college buddies. And I saw it with my friend Jose, and they were just very kind of. I think Kirsten Dunst was the big draw to go see it because
I think our straight buddies were probably really into Kiki at the time.
I think they still are. She's the homegirl. So saw it with Jose in the theater, and
Jose guest on our single white female episode.
Yes, he's in the single white female episode. And I just remember feeling like, hey, there's male cheerleaders in this movie, and they threw us a bone. They threw us a bone with less. And it was
real nice of him.
A crumb, a teeny morsel. He acknowledged it. He had one little interaction, and we just ate it. I ate it all up. I was like, oh, finally.
And can I just say, I've given him a VIP tour at Universal. Spoiler alert, I work at Universal. I know we're going to talk about this later, but I literally have given a tour to this man.
Wow.
And this man was like, every gaze.
Is he gay?
Yeah.
Well, no, he's not. Sadly, I gave a tour to his wife and his children.
Couldn't have fooled me.
I know, right? He plays gay so well. He's just so handsome. And he was talking about how they wanted to do a reboot of it.
Okay.
Of Bring It On. But guess who was not for it? The only person.
Kirsten?
Yep.
I mean, she has shit to do.
Yeah.
I was like, she's kind of busy.
She's making Jane
She just did
Campion
that dog
movies.
movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Oscar nomination. Yeah.
We've noticed that a reboot, it would have to be a direct sequel because they're still cranking out Bring It On.
Oh, those
there
like,
are.
Oh man,
how many of these are there?
There was one in 2022.
There are 5 direct-to-video sequels in a television movie.
After the Hayden Panettiere one?
With Rihanna? I saw a clip. Rihanna's in the Hayden Panettiere one in 2004.
Oh, she doesn't want us to know that.
They got Riri like right before she broke huge.
Yeah.
I need to watch it just for her.
It's
I
on
love
YouTube.
Rihanna.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Hayden
nuts.
Panettiere one is kind of the only one that has a little bit of gravitas because Hayden's in it.
Listen, I stand. I like her.
But I think the rest are just kind of like American Pie presents kind of level of nonsense.
National Lampoon presents American Pie presents.
But if they did a Bring It On with the original cast, get the fuck right.
No, they were trying to, and he was like, we were all so for it, and I was like, oh man, Kirsten, come on. Your dog.
She's too cool for that now.
Yeah, no, she is. She's an indie darling again.
Yes.
We have a little. We're gonna go to Kirsten just one moment because I have a little Kirsten quiz because we're celebrating. I think number 4 on the podcast.
We're still trying to get her that Oscar.
Wait, which others have you guys done?
Okay, so we have done
Interview with the Vampire.
Interview with the Vampire.
Obviously.
Dick. Drop Dead Gorgeous.
I'm not surprised.
And now Bring It On.
Okay.
I don't think that there's a 5.
I don't think so yet.
Okay,
not
those are
yet.
good
We're going to be
ones.
doing one this summer though.
Yes.
Excellent.
We love Kirsten.
Before we get into the Kirsten quiz, I saw this movie in the theater.
Okay.
This came out right when I was beginning my freshman year of high school, and my sister is a cheerleader.
Love it.
Has been since she was in the 7th grade. So as long as I've lived with Nicole, in high school she was always a cheerleader. So I was always surrounded by that group and just cheerleaders.
How authentic did she say it was?
I think that my sister and her best friend, who is also a cheerleader with her, I think that they liked it. They were very hot and cold about Kirsten Dunst, which I thought was interesting. I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
She's kind of polarized.
Yeah,
is it one of those things
weird.
that certain girls hate her? I don't know.
Maybe they're jealous.
I don't know this at all.
She was like that perfect little ingenue. Like rewatching it, I was like, this blonde little bitch.
Yeah.
She's like the Aryan nations just swirling around.
She, to me, read like the only one that I bought was high school age.
Sure.
Yeah.
And she was probably high school age when she made the movie.
Oh,
too.
let's talk about that locker room scene when like my aunt's changing.
All of these women.
Aunt Kathy, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Who's Big Red, just looking like someone's stepmom.
Big Red was truly Big Red. She had 6 kids secretly. Yeah.
Well, Big Red is my age. Okay. So not to get too deep into this, but I was looking up Jesse Bradford.
Yes.
Jesse Bradford. Mm-hmm. And I would have put down the down payment on a house, all 3 of the cats. If you asked me how old is Jesse Bradford,
You're at pub
I
trivia.
would have said,
year that he's born.
Oh, easy. He's my age. I know this. He is either 77 or 78. And now you go on his IMDb and it says like 79 or 80 or something.
Is it like a Jessica Chastain?
And I'm like, why would he change that? That's so odd. What? But I really think for the longest time it said 77. And now it says 79.
I love disputed ages.
But it's like, even so, you're still well over 40.
I love how actors will literally sue if their real age comes out.
Right.
I'm not 40.
Yeah.
I'm 30.
And Lindsay Sloan, who plays Big Red, again, same thing. I remember, because also she has been acting since she was a child. She was in the Wonder Years, very young, like 7th grade Wonder Years, right? Like, like early 90s. She was on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She was on just a lot of sitcoms.
Just kind of worked the rounds.
Worked the rounds in the sitcoms. And I always remember that she was my age as well. And when like IMDb first became a thing, like, I don't know, I just kind of like would look her up. Look up people you would see, you know? And I specifically remember, oh yeah, this girl, I know this girl, I like her. She's really charming on the Wonder Years, and she plays kind of the opposite of Big Red on Sabrina. She played kind of like a bullied girl who wanted to be a cheerleader.
The range.
Yes. And so that's kind of why I always remember that. And now her birth year is missing, scrubbed from the internet.
Well, because
it's not even down a couple years. This is gone.
Yeah, no, there was a thing though, like there was an actual law that got passed where they were like, no, you do not have to have your age on there anymore.
Sure.
So what was once permanent is now gone. So all these bitches are like, I'm 20.
It's all, it's all the Wild West on Wiki though.
But we can all do the math and be like, okay, well, that came out 23 years ago. She was X amount, which means this. But go off, you know. Yeah. I mean, if that helps your ego, go for it, girl.
And so, but that just means that at the time, Jesse Bradford and Big Red were probably in 99, 22.
Oh my gosh.
Which, playing high school, on the one hand, sounds crazy, but on the other hand, it's been going on forever.
Always.
They always do that.
But don't you feel like before, like any movie pre, like the last 5-6 years, I feel like they literally looked like the teachers playing.
Yes.
The fucking, like, if I looked like that at 14 or 15, I mean, come on.
We would have been studied.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, my God. Those were grown-ass men.
Yes,
like, Les is like a fucking man. His muscle tone.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh, my God.
For real. And, the wildest one is, you know, when, thank you, IMDb Trivia, if it wasn't going to be Kirsten, did you read who was second up for the role? It was Marley Shelton.
Just right.
1974. She would have been like 25.
Gabrielle Union still older than her.
Gabrielle Union is still older than her, but
looks the same.
But looks incredible now.
She has aged.
Yeah.
So
when you go on her TikTok, she looks incredible.
And she's a trans ally. She's a queer ally icon. We stand.
Yes,
and she's great in this movie, by the way.
So good. Yeah.
So good.
But the age situation, whatever. It is what it is.
All right. Before we get too into it,
yes.
Since this is number 4, Kirsten Dunst,
yes.
We tend to celebrate this with our leading ladies quiz.
Oh, okay.
So for Kirsten Dunst, we always start this out. You both can tag team this. Can you name all 4 of her movies on IMDb?
On her most known for on IMDb? Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh.
Jumanji?
What comes up first? No. Jumanji's not there.
Interview with the Vampire.
Interview's there.
Okay.
Yep.
Bring It On has to be there.
Bring It On is not there, surprisingly.
What?
And I know this is a fan favorite.
It can't be the dog movie.
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Melancholia?
Melancholia is there.
I knew it.
Why?
Critical favorite.
Yeah, it really is. She loves that indie darling moment.
But she got so many nominations for Power of the Dog. That's so cool.
It has. Well, Netflix doesn't always show up.
Huh.
Except if you're like
it's
Laura
a Netflix
Dern.
movie. Okay. All right. So we have Interview. We have Melancholia. We have two more movies. And
2 big
Bring
ones.
It On is not on there. That's funny.
shocking to me.
Yeah.
2, I think, huge Kirsten Dunst movies.
Huge Kirsten Dunst movies.
The Queen one.
Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette's not there.
Oh.
I'll give you a hint. One as a young adult and one as a child.
As a child. And we already said Interview and Jumanji.
Listen, Jumanji was my introduction.
We just watched Jumanji.
Yeah,
we just
did.
What
Jumanji
a great
too.
film.
Love it.
You guys are missing a big one.
Oh, God.
God.
That she made right after Bring It On. Huge.
It's not huge.
This movie was a giant deal.
The Virgin Suicide?
No.
Oh, that's a good one.
No.
Oh, God, I'm feeling.
I'm going to go.
It was the teen genre.
I'm going to go
right?
into later of the other actresses that she won this role over with.
Okay.
Because I'm sure it was very sought after.
Can you at least name one
right
other
after
cast
Bring
member?
It On, so it's like 2000?
It is a comic book movie.
Spider-Man.
Oh, duh, she's Mary Jane.
The original Spider-Man.
Of
Spider-Man
course.
1.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And the other one...
she's a child actress?
child.
What year is this?
94. It's the same year Interview
And
came
it's
out.
not Jumanji.
And it's the same year's Interview.
One of my favorite
And
movies.
it's one of Scott's favorite movies.
Love to cover it one day on the show.
Little Women.
Little Women.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I knew it.
Long before Amy March was like the fan favorite character.
Yes.
Everybody hated her.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There are a few. That's an interesting. Is that the 4 you would have chosen?
I think that you see some pretty good range. Maybe I would have gotten rid of at least one of the child acting roles
Yeah, me too.
and subbed in Bring It On.
And if you're going to have a child actor role, you better put fucking Jumanji in there.
I feel like Melancholy is a weird choice for her most known.
It's kind of like the Letterboxd artsy favorite, though.
But
Yeah.
I do know, I remember watching an interview, that is one of her absolute favorite movies she was in.
Okay.
So maybe she was like, hey, IMDb.
I mean,
Sure.
that
You know.
director put her through it, I'm sure.
Oh,
All right,
God.
so I'm curious if either of you are going to get this, but
right, let's
do you know
see.
what her first movie is? Okay, so there's two answers to this question. One is uncredited, and the other one is an official credit.
One is uncredited. And it's, theatrically released movie.
Theatrically released movie.
Okay. I know she did an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation.
Oh my gosh.
She's a child in both of these movies.
Yeah. And these are
From the 80s.
Okay. From the 80s.
gosh.
One is a big director, kind of a little hard to talk about now.
Woody
And
Allen?
It's Woody Allen. Yeah. It is.
Okay. Is it the tennis one? No.
Manhattan?
No. Okay. So she.
It's a series of shorts. There's 3 directors that do segments of it.
Manhattan Murder Mystery. No.
No.
What is that one?
That's the one with Diane Keaton.
Yeah. I can't think of the name
This
of
is
it.
New York Story.
New York
She is in Oedipus Rex. That is the Woody Allen section. And
Okay.
the other one is a Brian De Palma movie. She is Tom Hanks and Melanie Griffith's daughter in Bonfire of the Vanities.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Good little bit of
That is
trivia
wild.
if you're ever
Those
asked that.
Are so old.
Yeah.
And wasn't someone else supposed to play the role she did in the vampire movie? Did she take over for someone, or am I hallucinating?
I mean, Interview with the Vampire? I'm not
I think
sure.
I'm assuming that the usual suspects of child actors auditioned for that, like Natalie Portman and Christina Ricci, but there's just something about Kirsten
There
worked
man.
so well in that movie.
Yeah.
All right, highest grossing movie of her filmography.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, it has to be a Spider-Man movie.
It's a Spider-Man movie. It is not 2.
It's one.
One.
Nope.
3?
It's 3. And I remember the big conversation was
What?
this movie is garbage, but it made a lot of money.
That's the movie that kind of ended it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it still made
Shocking.
a lot of money.
Oh yeah, that's very Hollywood.
Yeah.
Can
It was
you-
the Venom movie?
Can you name her Sofia Coppola movies?
Okay, Virgin Suicides. And the other one, the Queen one, Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette, and then there's the Japan one.
Oh, Lost in Translation.
Lost in
Is she in that?
Translation.
No, that's
Oh, she's
Scarlett.
not in
That's
that.
Scarlett Johansson.
That's Anna
Johansson.
Faris.
That's Anna Faris.
Oh yeah. Oh, that role. Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So did she do another one? Oh,
There's 2 more.
Oh, she did that
What?
weird. Did she do that weird one where it's like the Civil War
Yep.
brides?
Yep.
No one knows that one.
Civil
What's
War
that?
Brides.
It's a remake of a Clint Eastwood movie. It's The Beguiled.
But
I like The Beguiled. That show's really good in The
I-
Beguiled.
yes.
And there's one more.
Is Nicole Kidman in that?
Yes.
Okay, I have not
Yeah.
seen that.
Okay, and one more. Sophia
There is one
Coppola
more.
movie?
It's kind of a trick question because it technically is a cameo.
Is it
But
the
she's
bling
in it.
ring?
She's in the bling ring. Oh. She plays herself in the bling ring.
Okay,
right.
I vaguely remember.
We
that.
kind
Good
of
job.
mentioned this before, but what movies does she portray real people? And we are not counting TV movies because she is portrayed like
Oh yeah,
15 and pregnant and all of those stories. Major movies.
So Marie Antoinette, obviously.
2 big ones. Pete, you should get these.
Wait, 2 more?
Yep.
After Marie Antoinette? They were Deep Throat and Dick, but that's not true. That was before we knew who the real Deep Throat was.
We have covered one on the show, Pete.
So what did we
She
just
was a
say?
subject of conversation because she did not do her own singing.
Do her own singing.
Lacey Chabert did her singing for this movie.
Oh God, what was that? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
It is a Don Bluth movie.
Oh, Oh, Anastasia.
Oh, yeah.
Anastasia.
She's young Anastasia.
Yeah.
One more. Lacey Chabert did the singing?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
For when she was little.
One more, she plays a famous movie star.
Oh, the Cat's Meow.
Cat's Meow.
Yeah,
Marion Davies. Before
Davies.
Amanda Seyfried got an Oscar nomination for Marion Davies.
Oh, wow.
Kirsten Dunst played her in the Cat's Meow.
All right.
Do you know what her character name is in The Virgin Suicides?
In The Virgin Suicides, her character's name is
Clara.
Lux Noir London.
Exactly. Lux Noir London. Lux Lisbon.
Lux Lisbon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was close, though.
Pete, you mentioned this earlier, but do you know what episode of Star Trek she shows up in? Can you name? Are you that big of a Trekkie?
The title
Can
of
you
the
name
episode?
the title of the episode?
Oh,
well,
God.
I mean, first, what series incarnation was she
It's
in?
The Next Generation.
Next Gen.
It's the
Okay.
Captain Picard series.
I was
And
kind of curious if you would get the episode name.
I don't know the episode name.
It's called Dark Page.
Dark Page.
I remember reading this next question in Premiere Magazine. So, what movie did she drop out to make Elizabethtown? Probably a bit of a toss-up of which one you take.
She dropped out of a movie.
She was cast, and I think she did pre-production work
and
on
said,
it.
"I'm going to go
I
do
think she did
Cameron
rehearsals.
Crowe instead."
Yep.
Okay. Gosh, I don't know.
God.
It is an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
What year is Elizabethtown?
It would have
is
shot
it The
no
Village?
It had to be The Village. Yeah.
She was cast in The Village as the Bryce Dallas Howard role.
Okay,
I
that
think
also
she did
tracks.
some work on it.
Wow.
And Cameron Crowe offered her Elizabethtown.
And she said yes?
And she said yes.
Peace out, M.
That
Night.
movie.
Peace out.
Oh my God.
It's not like The Village is...
That's
really that
both
talked
are.
about now.
Yeah, you're right.
It's probably kind of a wash of which one you end up taking.
yeah, but Elizabethtown is like egg white. You know,
We wouldn't get
the
the whole manic pixie dream girl term.
Very. Oh no, you're right.
Kirsten was not in it.
You're
so.
very right. That's true.
Oh, they would have coined it no matter who it was.
Natalie Portman in Garden State, or
Although I guess Garden State was first. So.
yeah, kind of right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting with Cameron Crowe because I remember hearing that he wrote Almost Famous with her in mind. So I think the idea was
that would have been good.
The Kate Hudson role was going to be her.
Ooh.
Wow.
And it kind of would have made sense with just the character and the age.
But would she have been able to sing it? Or does she sing? Does Penny sing it? No, she doesn't sing it.
Penny
No,
doesn't
she
sing.
doesn't.
She dances.
But
I just realized she doesn't.
Would she have gotten the Oscar nomination? I don't know.
Kate is so good in that, though. No offense, but damn.
All right.
Well, this kind of goes into our next question, but I guess we already hinted at it. Who were allegedly the two actresses that were very close to get Mary Jane in Spider-Man?
Oh, I don't know.
Around that time.
Was Kate Hudson close
was
to
in the
get
running.
Mary Jane? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Kate Hudson, I mean, I read that she turned it down, but I don't know why Kate Hudson would have turned down Spider-Man. Maybe just Kate at that time playing high school maybe would have been hard to buy.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know. Tobey Maguire, though.
I know. Well, that part, too.
There is...
Comic book movies at the time were probably still a gamble. It's not like now.
Sure.
That was the only
and Kirsten
one.
was a name. And there is one more that I read a little blurb with Sam Raimi saying he wanted to cast her.
J.B. Presley? I don't know
Yeah.
why.
So, Pete, we
Was
just
she a
saw...
redhead?
She is a redhead, and we just saw this actress on The Masked Singer. And we were gagged.
Alicia Witt.
Alicia Witt.
Really?
I just
Okay.
read a quote today that Sam Raimi really wanted her for the role.
I feel like she's taller than Tobey Maguire. I don't know why she gives me height.
I feel like most people are.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, they were like, okay, Kirsten, come in
Yeah,
here.
and Alicia Witt gives I don't know. I feel like she's tall, but maybe I'm just
Glamazon. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
That's our Kirsten Dunst quiz.
Yay.
Leading ladies. Yep.
Wow.
Oh, wrong.
And that's the show, ladies.
Good night, everyone.
All right.
So good, it's done.
So-
I meant to be this one.
Going back to Bring It On. So
Yeah.
this
Ooh.
movie is written by Jessica Bend. Oh, hold on. This movie is written by Jessica
Chastain.
Yeah, I was going to say. Just,
Bendinger.
Okay.
all right.
And I think this movie was sort of pitched as a Clueless meets Strictly Ballroom was kind of the idea. And I remember reading in Movie Line magazine for a summer movie preview when this movie was originally called Cheer Fever.
Ooh.
So this movie
Terrible
shot
title.
under
Terrible
Cheer
title.
Fever,
Cheer
and I think
Fever.
that just with test audiences, they went with Bring It On.
It's so much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cheer Fever is
awful.
Ugh.
That's a bad title.
That sounds like a TLC show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I don't know if it's just the Not Another Teen Movie like memories that are just like confounding my brain, but I don't know why I have the memory of just the whole like, oh, bring it on. Oh, it's been brought in. Like that being a little bit more, I don't know. When we watched it again, I was like, it takes her a minute to say bring it on. When's she going to say it?
Yeah. No, for real.
When's she going to say the title of the movie? But that just leads me to like how kind of iconic this movie became when it did get parodied so well in Not Another Teen Movie.
Oh, there's dialogue in Not Another Teen Movie that I think that they say in Bring It On.
Yeah, like they just pulled it directly from this. But
like Cheerocracy.
Oh, there's so many.
Writing Genius.
Oh
Cheerocracy feels like
it feels like it's something from Not Another Teen Movie.
Spoof, yeah,
yes.
but it's in here, and these girls, well, maybe it's the age and wisdom of the actors.
The 40-years.
Yes,
playing the teenagers.
They were able to pull off these lines, but the tone of this movie was very interesting.
Even from
the
get-go,
literally
the first scene of the movie.
It's like I love it. It's iconic the way those girls are lit. First of all, the bounce on them, everyone, the introduction. I love a dream sequence.
Yeah.
It's so perfect. And that was literally, I don't know about y'all, but I remember everyone quoted that whole damn intro.
I remember
in my class.
Our audience kind of losing their damn minds.
Yeah.
At the Judith Theater in my hometown when the scene came on.
No, still to this day.
Yeah.
Tour guides were watching it in the break room a couple years ago. Everyone was quoting the whole thing.
Love it.
It is pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Because it's so absurd and it's so in its own genre.
That's
you know,
the
I
thing.
feel like a lot of movies like it came out of the woodworks afterwards.
Right.
So.
Sure, because it's not like you were seeing stuff like this in She's All That.
No.
Or 10 Things I Hate About You.
No.
Like, they weren't
Definitely
going
not.
this broad.
No, this was like wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Right? A little bit of we're in on it too.
Right.
Which is, I think, why it kind of still works.
And that's what I forgot about in this movie and the tone of it. When we did watch it again, I was like, oh, okay, they get it.
Yeah.
They know what they're making.
They know it's
sure.
camp.
Yeah,
they know that they're making a cheerleader movie.
You can even tell that Kirsten at a point is like,
Right.
I'm doing this movie as my comedy
Right.
reel. Do you know, like wink, wink, nudge, nudge?
Yeah. And like even just the way it's shot and the way it's lit and the way the girls are shown in it, it's very much like, they fully understand what movie they're making. I have specific memories of watching this, and I talk a lot about this on the show.
You're old.
I'm old and
Old.
and I'm from LA.
Why?
Read me. But
Old and from LA. How sad.
Exactly. And this is one of those things where I was like, it's such an interesting choice that it's kind of like, where is this set? I guess it's on the coast somewhere.
San Diego.
Orange County, San Diego.
I mean, everybody knows.
La Jolla, OC.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
It's like all of them.
Yeah.
Rancho Carne.
Oh, okay.
That's another thing.
Is the name of the school.
Yeah.
Is it an actual school? Or is that the name they made
That's the name they made.
That's the name.
The Meat Ranch.
The Meat Ranch.
Okay, yeah, it's giving me like Torrance. I know that's her name, Torrance, but the town of Torrance by Palos Verdes.
It gives me South Orange County.
Yes.
I have a false memory thinking that this
LA.
is Torrance High, where they shot it at, where they
From
filmed
Buffy,
in 90210.
Yeah, that would track.
Yeah, because it looks like it with the arches and all that. And then I thought it was Occidental College, which is where they shot California
Clueless.
University and Clueless.
Right, yeah.
California University on 90210, and then Clueless. All of those scenes are at Occidental College here in Eagle Rock in east of Los Angeles. And but no, it's kind of all over San Diego and a little bit more south, but it feels it's obviously California. It's obviously Southern California. They drive to East Compton.
Just an afternoon.
I know. I was like, okay.
Just afternoon.
We'll
drive.
forgive the LA traffic. It doesn't exist in this world.
Yeah.
But it's very like, I don't know. Are both of you from LA?
No.
Just
okay.
me.
So
Yeah.
like, I don't know about you, but like growing up, not as an Angelino, I was always so jealous of the California high schools.
Oh, open
It was
air.
like open
Outside.
Open air. Lockers
Palm trees.
outside.
Everyone was fucking hot. Like, oh, let's go to the beach. Let's wear these little midriff shirts. Everything was so perfect. Everyone had these Cadillac cars. And like, it was such a vibe. Yeah, so like, this is totally that vibe. 100%.
Yes. Yeah.
I was so jealous.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, when we meet the Pantone twins, are they twins? Less
than that. I don't think so. They do look very similar.
What is this bullshit name? It's
Les is the gay cheerleader.
Yes,
Cliff,
mm-hmm.
Cliff, and Missy.
Yes,
the Pantone.
Okay.
It's undecided if they're twins or not. Well, we thought they were, but then at one point he says, "I asked Mom for a brother." Yeah. So when he's fighting with her.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, well, he couldn't have asked Mom for a brother if they were twins. So
correct.
He must be
so
older.
Maybe he's a senior and
maybe
she's
Missy's
a junior.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Irish twins.
Yeah. And Torrance is a senior, I believe, because she's the captain.
Yes.
So
although it's so funny to me because she looks like a freshman.
She looks compared to
she actually looks her age. Yes. That's why. Like it's actually a compliment.
Yeah.
But.
No. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So going my kind of memories of my sister being a cheerleader. Uh-huh. So this movie has a cheerleader being dropped and breaking her leg.
Yeah.
And I still to this day remember my sister getting dropped.
It happens
because
did she get dropped in her ass?
She got dropped on her butt on a hard wood.
Did she have to go to the hospital?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh!
And
how was her ass now?
She's lucky that she didn't like break anything. But yeah, I remember because there was no guys on the team, so it was just girls lifting her up.
Wait, so were there no flyers or anything?
Wow.
It was just the other girls doing it.
Wow.
And they dropped her.
Oh no.
Never forget it.
So I went to an all boys high school. And I know there are many questions when that gets thrown out.
No, it tracks.
But, I guess that is not the question. But we had female cheerleaders, but they were from other schools. They were from neighboring girls' schools.
That's
or
sweet.
Just anybody. You just had to come and try out, and you wanted to be a cathedral cheerleader because like we had a bomb football team, and that's just kind of how it was. The boys' schools had cheerleaders came from other schools, so that's how that worked. Our cheerleading, we didn't have a competitive cheerleading squad, so they didn't have like flyers and pyramids and all that stuff. So we didn't have any male cheerleaders. But I had some gal pals from other girls' schools that they were very into drill team.
Yes.
And so I went to Miss Drill Team USA competition in Long Beach. Ooh. And that shit was wild.
Oh, it's fire.
Like, I think I still have glitter in my cracks.
Drill team's intense.
Yeah. And it was intense. And it was like, I knew the drill team from that school, like the Ramona girls, and it was fun and blah, blah, blah. And we did games just to watch them and everything. But when we went to that, it was fucking batshit. And let me tell you, when it got down to like the big like winner of like the day or whatever, I'd never seen anything like this before. They were like the top 3 or the top 5 or whatever, like teams. And they started saying, okay, in 5th place is blah, blah, blah school. And you'd hear cheers, but it wasn't from the school that just got 5th place. It was from the school that wanted 1st because they were cheering that they didn't get fucked up 5th place, right? So as they're going more and more, you're hearing the cheers get louder because not because like, yay, 3rd place, we love that school. No, fuck that. Everybody now is cheering for whoever.
Brutal.
Yeah, it was intense. Yeah. Ugh. And then so then I really got to see up close like the cheer competition hair, the really tight, high pony.
Oh my God.
It's a pile of curls on top.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Have you seen Cheer on Netflix?
No, we haven't watched that.
No, we haven't watched that.
Has its own controversy.
It's insane and nuts the second season, but like when you watch them just get dolled up, holy moly. I mean,
the makeup.
The aerosol cans alone, they are depleting the ozone layer.
And they have fun with that in this movie of when they go to the meet. They have fun with like the cheer moms and all of the hairspray and all of that.
You have to. And those big bows.
Yes.
The massive bows.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and the color of your uniform and all that. I took a little bit of issue with the amount of bare midriff that was shown in this movie.
There's a lot.
I don't know that is regulation uniform for like a national cheer competition at the high school level, but
it's that California magic.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, this is what I thought all high schools were.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, they gotta show midriff.
Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe you gotta be a little bit more covered up.
I remember my sister and her friend recording the cheer competitions or whatever they go to on like CNN or not
ESPN.
CNN on ESPN.
Mm-hmm. Yup.
Yeah,
Yep.
those are fun to watch. Shit's intense.
I remember the cheer catalogs too.
What are those?
Just where you just get
like how you get your
uniform
outfits?
Where you
equipment.
get, like,
yeah.
cheer equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the thing about the national competition and watching ESPN is the most entertaining schools. They're the black schools.
Yeah.
You want to watch the black schools because
Yes.
they have the best performances.
Yeah, no, for real though. I mean, there's a reason why in this film
Yeah.
the little white girls
Yeah.
steal all the choreography.
Yeah.
Red
because
steals.
oh, it's so
Red
good.
steals the cheer.
Yeah.
Yep.
East
Yeah.
Compton High.
The athleticism, their own POV. Yeah,
Well,
1,000%.
It's so funny too because like I know the story. I know that's what happens. I just haven't seen this movie in a minute. So when we did watch it, they immediately start it to kind of show Missy, well, this is what we do. So if you want to be on our team, because Missy, she came from LA proper,
Introduced with the Alanis Morissette
like twisted, not
twisty
quite
pomade,
braids, but yeah.
hair that whatever Alanis had in the You Learn video.
And Missy is like rock and roll, but also a gymnast, but also wants to be on the team, but also doesn't want to be on the team. But she's edgy.
Played by
She's edgy.
Elisha
Eliza
Dushku from
Dushku.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes.
iconic.
So when they're like enticing her to come on to the team, like, let's show her our routine. This is our best routine. It's super complicated. Let's watch. They start doing the burr. It's cold in here. And I was like, they're stepping. They're stepping. White schools don't step. Like, this is clearly like a routine.
I still love how her like audition at the end when she's like, "This is my last resort."
Yeah.
That part I love. So sassy. Yeah. But also when she does the backflips and it's clearly a stunt double.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, that's great. That's
I
great.
love.
Well, I mean, I guess it does make sense that cheerleaders are gymnasts.
Yeah.
She says that. She's like,
I feel like the better
Yeah.
a gymnast you are, the better cheerleader
Yeah.
you would be.
Yeah.
We like you can tell the cheerleaders that do not have any dialogue, but they're there in the background to fill out the shot, but they're used the most in the wide shots.
Yeah.
And there's that one guy, that one blonde guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's one male
yes.
cheerleader, the blonde one.
Oh, we can all spot him.
Yeah. There's a shot, and I think it's at the competition at the end. They end a routine, and he ends it in a full split with his face like it's like a yoga pose. I'm like, oh my god,
I could never.
My crotch.
Yeah. R.I.P. my
yeah,
balls.
I need to stretch just watching you do that.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a wild pose. I was like, oh, all right. You better work.
You better work, Blondie.
Yeah. I was like,
Stretch those balls out.
Why doesn't he have a line? Oh yeah, and the guy cheerleaders and these guys are like in their 20s. They're like
like
so muscular.
Oh yeah.
College.
Yeah,
College
these are
cheer.
college guys.
Oh yeah. Legit. Like the muscle tone on these.
Didn't you say one of them had like a full back tattoo at the
There
car
was
wash?
There was one during the car wash that had a back tattoo.
Like, yeah, you know.
Did you notice Jesse Bradford's little tattoo on his arm?
No.
I noticed it.
Where is it?
It's like
like on the inside of his.
right on his forearm.
Okay,
that's
all right.
funny.
I
Yep.
didn't notice that.
Oh.
Jesse Bradford's very cute in this.
Jesse Bradford is really
Yeah.
cute.
And then I just think of Swim Fan.
Right.
And then I'm like,
Teenage classic swim fan.
yeah, oh, we
Teen
stand.
thriller. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
But it's funny. I actually, as I was watching this, I was like, the casting was pretty good with
Yeah.
him and Eliza, though. Or
Oh,
Eliza, right?
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
they look absolutely related.
Especially when they were like together and they would like talk to each other. I was like, okay, I totally buy
Like when
this.
Torrance comes to the house and they both are there at the door, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really good casting.
Yeah. I feel like the longer I watched the movie, the more I remembered sitting in the movie theater for like 45 minutes just going, Why the fuck is her name Torrance?
Torrance. I can't do that without, like, I can't say her name without that.
Torrance and Cliff.
What kind of name is Torrance?
Maybe they literally named her after the city that we think this is placed in. They have to.
Yeah.
Very California name.
Yeah, absolutely. They were scouting the high schools, and they went to Torrance High.
Yep.
And they were
like, that's it?
We won't use the school, but we really like the name. But, yeah, great. I think it's just great casting all around.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Whitney, the girls that are the two mean girls.
Oh, sure. Well, one of them is the hardest working actress in teen comedies in the 90s.
Summer from Clueless. Yeah.
And she also shows up as the crying girl in Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah, she plays...
Who is that actress?
Her name is Nicole Bilderback, and she plays Whitney in this movie. And the other one, the blonde, is...
Gloria from Buffy.
Okay.
Ooh.
Her name is Courtney in the movie as her character, and the actress's name is Claire Kramer.
That actress never quite took off.
No.
I kind of thought that I would be seeing her in more stuff at this time because she was in this, and then she was like the season 5 villain on Buffy, and I just kind of assumed that we would see more of her.
Where is she?
It says she was in the Rules of Attraction, but I don't remember her character in that movie.
Just somewhere.
Yeah.
Has she been doing
movie,
anything
College
recently?
Yeah, she looks like she's doing some work. She's got credits, just, working actress.
Work.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
I don't really know most of these things, but...
But it is funny how, like, certain
Yeah.
actresses you've seen, like, in that time period,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, yes. Very of the early aughts,
yes. Yeah, absolutely. Much like... Nicole Bilderback, who was Whitney. She's in a lot of stuff. We've been doing a slight rewatch of the Clueless TV series.
Oh, I've never.
Found it on YouTube.
I've never. How is it?
Wild.
It's a lot of fun.
Is Alicia in it?
No.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Alicia had better things to do
They recast
in the late 90s.
They recast Cher, and I never forgave them.
That can be tricky, though. Like, I understand.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. But it's a kooky show. It that again knows what it is. They're like, this is the Clueless sitcom.
It has to
We're
be.
not.
Yeah.
We're not going for Peabody Awards here.
So I would like to discuss kind of two different things. What has aged well about this movie and what has not aged well about
That
this
is a
movie.
good.
Okay, well, let's start what has not aged well about this movie. I mean,
Hold on, let me get my...
It's kind of, I mean, do you see this a lot?
Get the binder.
For movies about young people
made
in the year 2000.
Yes.
This was a part of the wave of teen movies of the late 90s. And sometimes with stuff like that, as seen in movies like Can't Hardly Wait, just casual homophobia. But that said, I know that like the movie's heart is in its right place, but it's just sort of, you just kind of saw jokes like that.
Yeah.
I just remember like when they're in the car and then all of a sudden Eliza's like, are you trying to tell me you speak fag?
You speak fag.
And I remember being like, wait.
Yeah.
Is that what she just said?
Yeah.
And then I went back and I was like, okay, like I get it, like reclaiming the word, like, yes, sis, if you're a homosexual. But like, bitch, no.
Yeah.
Like this is not, but it's funny to me because I'm like, that would now be like a censored slur.
Yes.
Yep.
Right? Like if that, so I'm curious, like when this plays on TBS or something, does it get
They probably just
beeped,
mute it.
right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to me because that was like immediately like,
Maybe there's like
whoa.
a television cut of another word that she says.
Right.
But it's interesting how that scene plays out because they're talking about his sexuality and they never say that he's gay.
No.
And do you think that just the screenwriter just didn't even want to drop in?
I mean,
No.
it's obviously implied that he's gay,
Yeah.
but when she says, well, what is your sexual orientation? And the one goes, well, he's straight. What about you? Controversial.
Yeah.
What?
And that's the part for me where I was like,
Yeah. So does that mean that you haven't come out yet? Does that mean that your weird way of saying that you're bi?
are you bi?
Like, yeah.
But like, why is it
And
controversial?
nobody believes it. What's the controversy? Yeah.
And that seems like it's a negative connotation.
exactly. And
I
is
mean-
the controversy just that you're gay?
I mean,
Right.
otherwise,
Right.
this is kind of a cool character because he's a gay high schooler that does not give a shit what people think of him.
No.
He's on
Which
the cheer team.
I think for the time was pretty groundbreaking and kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the other members of the team are just like, okay. Because, excuse me, when she does say, you speak fag, I mean, that's their way of indicating, okay, you're gay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Now, again, that would be a censored slur, but that's their way of telling us that they know, they get it. And it's
like, okay,
news.
girlfriend, cool. I can be cool with you.
So it's like, on the one hand, it's progressive. And like I said, that less character, for me at the time, it's the whole like representation matters thing.
Yes.
So for me, being like in college, I was like, okay, there's a character who's a teenager in high school, and he's telling it's a car full of girls. So it's a little easier as a young gay teenage boy to tell like your female friends.
Sure, he looks like he's in grad school,
right?
But
who cares? He looks like he's chaperoning the cheer.
Looks like their
trip.
father.
Yeah, but it's a gay teen high school character that's just saying, yeah, I'm controversial, which is coded, but hey, it's there. So I'm like, they're giving us something, but it's still kind of 2 steps back. So,
but isn't that funny that like it's coded, yet she says fag?
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
That's the irony for me. That's where it kind of hits. It lands in an interesting area where I'm like, I'm not offended, but like, this is interesting.
Yeah. And then, when we do first meet Missy and she's got her like wallet chain.
Oh yeah.
And
she's
her keys on the belt loop.
A bad girl.
Her Birkenstocks.
Yeah, and they immediately say something else, funny, but it's like just dykey or whatever. They use dyke a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with Missy. And so that's another one where it's like, all right, and that's just very casual, like banding about. And it's not like, you can't say that. It's just like, oh, give her a chance.
Yeah, exactly. It's such an interesting, word choice and the way they talk about sexuality.
Yeah, they're more offended, or Torrance is more offended that they're just dismissing her than she should be of them just like calling her straight up dyke to her face.
Yeah.
And I think later on they say it again like a second time. So it's like, so those things
Yeah, it's kind of like also the I had to with the Spirit Fingers coach who comes in. So there's a whole thing, like especially now in the days of body positivity, not commenting on people's bodies regardless of what it is. Like I had to write down some of these because I was like, excuse me? But he said like, you should stop eating. If you skip enough, maybe your body will eat your ass. Fat people don't go as high.
Yeah.
Like I get it. It's funny. Haha. But do you think that would land? I feel like it would have been finessed a little better currently in 2023, right?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like just that whole section, that character, I get what he's doing, but oh my God. I was like, oof.
So Pete and I, when that scene was about to begin and he's about to be revealed, and we're like, okay, this is someone that we know.
We were like,
is it Andy Dick?
Yeah,
I was
like,
thinking it might be like Jack Plotnick. In my brain, I'm thinking of like a gay comic.
Yeah.
Who probably would have done a really good job with the role.
But when I did look up this actor, he did come from the Upright Citizens Brigade.
Okay.
In fact, he's a founding member of the Upright Citizens Brigade. So they went out of their way to get a comedian, right? I don't know, his sexuality would have been funnier if it was a gay guy.
Yeah, or like, really like, Frank it up from, Father of the Bride, Martin Short type.
Yeah.
Or something.
And in my brain, that's what it was, but it just kind of, at the end of the day, it's just like a guy. Like,
that character kind of, I don't know about you guys, but watching it again, it kind of falls flat for me.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because it's not quite funny.
Well, because they're going for a Full Metal Jacket type of joke.
Yeah, but he doesn't really do... that sorry to this actor. Sorry to this man.
Sorry to this man.
They don't quite take it far enough.
But I just feel like he wasn't committed enough because, like, it also, like, if you're going to be saying these things, you got to add something to it so it kind of hits the funny. Because now watching it, you're just like, holy shit,
it just
this
comes
is
off
just
as really
offensive.
mean.
And really mean.
Yeah.
I get what they were going for. It just, it kind of misses now.
Yeah. And then, like, the performance that he was teaching them, like, I get that the idea of it was that it's kind of corny choreography, like the Spirit Fingers and the moves and all that. But, like, it wasn't corny enough. Like, it didn't go far enough to show us this is bad choreography that they're paying for.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah. So, I get that. And that's the thing. Why did we think that it was somebody else? Why did we think in our heads we were like, yeah, it's Andy Dick or it's Jack Plotnick or even Martin Short, and who, any one of them would have made it so much better. It just turned out to be, just
well, yeah, because
not
even
quite enough.
he says there's that line too where he says, cheerleaders are dancers who go retarded.
Yes.
Yep.
That was another one. Yep. Yeah.
And that's another one where I was
That's
like...
definitely going to be highlighted in your script.
Yeah.
When you're going through it 23 years later.
Yeah. I was like... Oh, you go, oh, this is such an early aughts movie.
Yeah.
This was like White Chicks wasn't far behind. Like a lot of the things that were like, oh, okay, this was a genre of its own.
Yes.
That lasted for a while. But now when he said that, I just remember I was like, oh, oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. And in a movie that otherwise the jokes land.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. So it is kind of something where it does kind of... It made us all stop in our tracks. And then he disappears.
Uh-huh. I truly wonder if like they had probably done the contract and everything. Yeah. They did the scenes, but like I also wonder if at that point they were like, maybe we should we don't going need anywhere. Anymore. I don't know. Because watching it again, I really was curious as how this man was cast.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And like I said, I looked him up and he did come from Upright Citizens Brigade, so I think they were just like, let's get somebody from improv. Those guys are always funny. Those guys are good at character development. And
it should have been more.
But
I wanted groundlings or something, because I think the other girls are very, like, everyone is aware of this. I think that's why the rest of the movie mostly works, because there's a heightened sensibility that we were talking about, right? And it just kind of... It was me, not even heightened.
Yeah, absolutely.
But those are the most, when I think of controversial things that don't age well. Yeah. Those are the ones. Can you think of anything off the top of your head besides those points? Those are the only ones that come to mind.
Those were the big ones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of in the discussion of what has aged really well about this movie, that I think that sort of the discussion of systemic inequality, cultural appropriation, and some kind of interesting things to say about feminism, too, especially kind of at this time. Cheerleaders in pop culture, we've seen it since the 80s in John Hughes movies. Cheerleaders were the mean popular girls.
Always.
And in this movie, they're the cool underdogs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that.
They're the heroes of the story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, and Torrance is also like, she's not perfect.
Yeah.
Right? She's actually trying to achieve perfection, which she knows she can't. But like, Big Red makes fun of her. We can side with her, I think, for that. She's like, we want her to win, which I think was very different and which was a really smart choice as well. And the whole Gabrielle Union stuff. I mean, the scenes between them with the friends and them saying like, okay, cool, basically, so you white girls can come in, take our moves and win competition.
And the Gabrielle Union character, Isis, is really tricky because I could have seen a pass of the script and maybe it did exist before Gabrielle Union probably spoke up and said that she has some notes.
She would. She does.
It could have just read as angry black woman.
Yep.
But I think Gabrielle just makes this character really strong and a leader.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I love the three of them.
I want to see more of her.
I think one of the names is Janelope.
Yes,
Janelope.
Which, like, first of all, iconic.
All of the friends
coming to the stage. Janelope. She's going to be on season 16 of Drag Race.
Yeah.
But I love them because it was that, like you said, I think that commentary really ages well.
Yeah.
Because that hasn't changed.
No,
sadly.
Yeah. And there's like the white savior element and white guilt,
bringing them the check.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And this kind of brings me back.
I kind of wish that Janelope and the other girls were like, "Girl, why did you rip up that check?"
Yeah, girl, we're not taking that check.
It kind of brings me back to when my sister did do state cheerleading competitions. I mean, it's nowhere near as grand as it is in this movie, but when the reservation schools would come, you could really see, these girls like really want it, but they just don't really have the tools,
the
resources to make something like that work living on the Indian reservation in Browning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Clovers would have been able to compete if they didn't have that check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is also like white savior, but at the same time,
they
like
ended up winning the money from
that's true.
Pauletta.
And then it all came around.
That scene where they go on Pauletta and the friends died.
Love
Pauletta, girl, you didn't have to lose a pound.
So good, so good.
I love it.
Well, because this was also the era of Gabrielle Union.
Yes,
because
she did the rounds in all these movies.
Oh yeah,
She's All That. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, so good.
And for those movies, I mean, it's great that she's in them, but there's hardly a character there.
She literally was just like the tertiary character who would say a little quip and then leave.
Yeah.
This is where I was like, oh, yes, Miss Isis to the stage. I love her in this movie.
Every time I hear the name Isis, I always think of
America's Next Top Model.
Well,
say Top Model.
We love Isis from Top Model, but you know, and don't hate me, but Dave Chappelle.
Oh,
he had a bit about girls named Isis. And
I think I remember
after a certain time frame. If your name was Isis, it was like, oh god. And then he said, "There's probably a few Isis Cosbys out there," and he's like, "That's the double whammy of a bad name,
double homicide."
So I always think her name's Isis Cosby.
That's funny.
in my brain, the character's name.
That's where it
Isis
goes.
Cosby. Yeah.
Oh yes.
The double whammy of cringe name. Sorry, Dave Chappelle's. Still funny.
And Isis is an interesting juxtaposition for Torrance because Isis works really well under pressure. Mm-hmm. And Torrance kind of almost loses it.
She's what Torrance wants to be.
Yes.
Yep.
Like she's her foil, which is why I think it works very well. And that they kind of are like, you know, towards the end, they're like, I got you, girl, kind of thing. They have that camaraderie together, which I really love too.
Yeah. They're not like super similar in other aspects, but in that aspect of their character. And it just makes that scene at the competition where they give each other advice.
Yeah.
It makes that
I really like that
moment.
scene too.
Yeah.
I think it was warranted and it was earned at that point as well. It didn't feel like totally random.
Yeah. And it's that thing, it's that good sportsmanship thing of like them, you know, if I tell them, hey, don't step out of bounds, that's not gonna be the thing that like makes them win this.
Correct.
You know, and you see that a lot on Drag Race. It's like, you know, me not helping somebody, that's not gonna like affect which one of us wins this competition.
Absolutely not.
It's like just want to be a good sportsman and like you want to compete against the best.
Correct. And that's really what cheer is all about too. And you can tell like that's why they wanted to give them the check because they were like, no, we want to compete with you guys.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like, no, please.
Yeah. And that, I mean, but that brings up the question, bringing it all back to Drag Race as this show usually does.
Listen, I'm not mad about
all
it.
roads lead back to Drag Race.
All roads lead back to Drag Race. And when it comes to the All-Star seasons of kicking off the people who are the strongest competition.
Yeah, the threats.
And do you do that, or is that Is Naomi Smalls a terrible person? Is my question.
I mean, Blue Hydrangea would have something to say about that.
Sometimes life's not fair. Oh yeah, she did the same thing, and she won.
And she won.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I mean, honestly, if you were in that situation, would you?
I don't know.
Would you pull a Naomi Smalls?
I feel like I would have for me. I think that I would be way too conscious of like I'm going to get dragged if I do something that controversial.
I think like if I knew I was gonna win or make it far, it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
But if I were like knocked out the next episode, I'd be like, well, I am screwed.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everyone hates me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why you got to help people make their shit in the workroom on the off chance that they might not like when they're looking at your lipstick in the next episode.
A low-key alliance.
Yes.
Not a full-on alliance where you're inviting the entire workroom.
A low-key Torrance ISIS alliance.
There you go.
Yeah. It's there, but like, you know.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Yeah.
Oh, that Drag Race episode where they have to do the cheer.
Ooh.
I mean...
Wait, are you talking about the one where literally Eureka O'Hara broke her body? Broke her fucking body.
Like, fucked up her knee.
Yeah.
Poor James Mansfield.
James Mansfield
flipping,
tumbling through the universe.
Over again. I could watch that meme probably until I die.
And I think that challenge in particular with the producers of, we can't do anything. This is kind of doing a little too much.
Like literally, if I had been competing on that episode and they said, "Hey, Braden, so you're gonna basically have to tumble, in drag over Eureka O'Hara, and not break your 6'6" body," I would have been like, "RuPaul better do this. If Ru can do this, I'll do it." Absolutely not. Tumbling, hell no.
Yeah. Oh man, would Tyra have done it?
Sanchez.
Banks.
Oh. I feel like no. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tyra Sanchez, on the other hand, who knows? She's making a comeback now.
Oh no!
I've been seeing
she's back.
I've been seeing her on TikTok doing all those interviews about
she's
the show.
Revived. She's trying to get into good graces again.
Is it James or is it Tyra?
As Tyra.
Wow.
Oh, I
Tyra.
haven't seen those. I think that I've
That's
just been looking at
interesting.
old podcast interviews.
That's
Oh yeah, no, well, because
Okay.
there was the whole
All
bombing era.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
we remember that. I'm gonna bomb DragCon.
Yes.
And then I hate drag. I quit drag. But now, recently, allegedly, I was watching something the other day where she is potentially making a comeback. So,
all right.
get ready for some more Tyra.
We're still holding out for the return of Rebecca Glasscock.
Oh my god!
The minute Rebecca Glasscock starts doing drag, I guarantee you booked on the next All
It's over for all these
beyond.
bitches.
Yeah. Beyond. They need to bring some of those season 1 girls back again too.
Yeah.
They need to bring more back, and
Yeah.
she should absolutely be. Did you see Poppy dressed as her at the finale?
Yep.
Oh my God.
We clocked it immediately. We were
Poppy
like,
quit drag though. Apparently,
That's what's.
Did
been
she
going
really
on.
though?
yeah. Well, allegedly, but I guess that's what kids do now. They're like, I'll do a season of Drag Race, and then I'm done. I'm retired.
Just for the exposure.
Yeah, it's so funny to me though.
That's wild. That's a lot of money just for the exposure.
Oh yeah, and not to mention. Well, I think she was only in a couple episodes, right? But she probably plans for like
you gotta.
But then again, she did wear
season.
like a bunch of like short mini skirts, and that was about it.
True.
So maybe who knows?
Our biggest complaint was she wasn't wearing enough. So
Now here's my question: if the Bring It On characters were drag queens, who would win, and who would be Miss Congeniality?
I was gonna say, and who's going home on the Rusical?
Oh yeah.
who could be Torrance?
I feel like
that's a good
Torrance would be Miss Congeniality.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, the winner has to be Gabrielle Union.
She absolutely. That's my winner.
That is the
It's Isis.
That is the arc
Hands
of
down.
Bring It On.
Well,
in
she
the
would
movie.
do all the
Yep.
choreography for all the challenges,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
And usually, the if they do well, the leaders do pretty well. They
Yeah.
go far. And then I feel like the person who would be booted out first would probably be, oh gosh.
Well, the girl who got dropped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or the girl with the fat ass who allegedly would. I still cannot with
God.
that. Oh, wow. You're so svelte. You're so physically together. And then he looks at her ass, which anyone would be like, please God, I want that ass.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. It's also, back when the heroin chic,
Right, yeah,
Kate
we're
Moss
still coming off
vibe. And now
that,
we're coming
yeah.
back with that with the Bella Hadid stuff. But
Yeah,
back
I
then,
mean-
I mean, I think that Courtney and Whitney are going home on the double elimination.
Oh my God.
they're
Double-
sugar and spice.
Yeah.
They're the sugar and
double
spice.
sachet.
Yeah.
Oh my God. When he flicked Missy's nose and it made a little Looney Tunes like bink. That kind of tickled me. I laughed.
Oh, always. A nose flick will always warrant a little
I laughed a
chuckle.
little at that.
Oh, always. A lot of the little gags,
Yeah.
the little physical gags.
Yeah. So we were kind of commenting on Cliff and Torrance's romance throughout the movie. And, she's got the whole thing with the weird boyfriend. I was like,
This actor who plays
Aaron?
the boyfriend,
Aaron.
Aaron, is doing some kooky choices.
yeah.
He's
This
in a different
actor
movie.
is
He
doing
is in an absolutely
He is
different
totally
movie.
in a different movie.
When he's on the phone call with her, like
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh my gosh, like we stole the thing," and he's like doing his own thing. It was like a pantomime or like
did
some
this-
sort of Charlie Chaplin thing. I was like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah.
Did this kid show up to the eating out audition or something?
Yeah.
It's giving eating out vibes.
Yeah.
It's giving Chris Salvatore vibes. I know those are the later eating out movies,
Yeah.
but still. But it's giving okay. Also, he looks 40.
He does.
This man looks 40.
He does. And I almost thought that he was going to end up being gay.
I thought the reveal was going to be a guy in his bed.
Yeah, I forgot. I was like,
Me
okay.
too.
Yeah.
No, I thought that Les was going to be in his bed.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I'm such a F word
Yeah.
that when I was younger, I thought that's how it ended.
Yeah.
I always imagined this scene where
Yeah.
the sheets are very Cruel Intentions when they come into the room,
Pacey, yeah.
it's like pop and they're both there. But apparently that's not in this film.
False memories.
That's just my
implanted in all of
fantasies.
us.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But so Cliff, before he kind of sees them have that little goodnight kiss and gets mad at Torrance, before that he kind of insinuates himself in her life in different scenes where he like shows up to the car wash and I mean obviously he's Missy's brother, so he's there at the sleepover.
Tells her about the Clash.
Teaches her about good rock. Is that your band? Is that your band on that T-shirt? I love that.
It's so. Do you remember John Tucker Must Die?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Penn Badgley's character.
Oh my god.
Where it's like, oh, he's the brother that's like smart and like would never end up with the cheerleader.
Wait a minute. Was Penn Badgley also an Easy A?
Yes.
He's also the character in Easy A.
Yes, because he had long hair in John Tucker Must Die, which is their way of making him ugly.
Right.
Which it's like, are you kidding me? Look at Penn Badgley. But yeah, no, and Penn Badgley and Easy A too. It's absolutely that type of character. Yeah. Like Penn Badgley, if he were in that era, would have played this role.
Yeah, totally.
Hands down.
But, it's funny because later on, when they do go to the national competition, it's in Florida. It's across the country. Uh-huh. And Missy says something to the effect of like, oh, I think Cliff will be here. It's like, you think? Did he go with you or not? Like, is he just like going to hop on a plane? And Scott was telling me, he's like, they're fucking rich.
These kids are loaded.
Missy's driving a brand new Beetle.
That's what I'm saying.
Could you imagine?
I thought all California kids were just rich as hell.
Could you imagine somebody in your high school showing up in a brand new car like that?
A brand new Beetle.
We would be like, fuck you.
No, I can't imagine that. I went to school. I went to high school in Colorado with like Hicktown. Like they literally called it Hicktown. Like there would be people who would come in their Dodge Durango trucks, like chewing tobacco.
I'm from Montana. I know.
Oh, you know. So you're aware. Yeah. No. So like to see that was the mysticism of these California schools. I was like, oh my gosh, everyone's rich.
Yeah.
Everyone's rich. Okay.
Yeah. So not only did Missy have a brand new Beetle, Cliff had a car too. He brought the car to the car wash and it was all covered in mud and that was like the joke, like, oh, like it's a little dirty, ha ha ha. But it was a classic car.
Yeah, it was still a nice car.
Yeah, it was still a nice
And also my question still is, why was he at the car wash?
To see them titties.
I guess. I guess.
That car wash scene, too.
Oh, yes.
23 years later, I'm kind of like
scandalized.
A scandalo.
Any car wash. Because now you're like, oh, they're 16.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, well, I mean, they're 40. But they're question
You know what's another weird moment, kind of going back to the cheer auditions? I think that it's the sister of is it Whitney or
that actually is a child?
Yeah.
Why
does he do the blowjob?
Oh yeah,
it's really weird.
Once again, that's another did not age well.
Now I'm assuming he's doing it to be like, well, she sucks, like, but I don't know. That's a weird gesture.
That makes sense. Is that it's supposed to be she sucks, but the whole.
But it is a child
miming a dick
that
in your
was
mouth.
A little girl.
Weird.
No, that was now that you bring that up, that was a really.
And he was one of the straight male cheerleaders.
So even worse.
It's like even worse. Yeah. That was crazy.
Just a weird throwaway moment that I'm like.
And then so then there's a car wash, and these are teenage minor children in bikinis.
Acting all Euphoria-like.
Yeah. But the boys are wearing board shorts that are like past their knees.
I'm first of all, that is a crime because I'm like, where are the Speedos?
Yeah.
Where these boys should be in Speedos.
If the girls are going to be in bikinis.
Where the fuck are their banana hammocks?
What's the difference?
Yeah.
They should be in a Speedo. But no, they're wearing the Kevin Smith special that's like below the knee.
That was for the
terrible.
That was the fashion at the time.
I know. I can't make fun of it because there was a period of time there where it was like skateboard
that's all there was.
Shirts,
straight
the puka shell necklaces.
Straight men hadn't quite discovered.
And if I know my
short shorts yet,
and if I know my straight guys and swimwear. They are wearing underwear under those board shorts.
It's so weird.
Why?
It's so weird. They're so scared. They're
Boxers.
So scared of I know. It's like double board shorts, which is just the worst.
I don't get straight guys that wear full-on basketball shorts underneath pants.
Yeah.
You see that sometimes really like at the gym? You're like, yes. Why?
It's like, don't look at my dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So many layers.
All right.
I can't.
I'm not looking, but why do you need 3 layers of mesh? And compression shorts?
Yeah.
And,
God forbid we see your bare thigh.
So weird. I know. It's bizarre. It's so weird to me. I've never understood
Very
that.
puritanical.
Yeah. And also, it's like, if you have more muscle, don't you want to show it off, baby boy?
What is the point?
Yeah. Get
what
the chicks.
All this work
get the girls. Oh, but it's too gay.
Yeah.
No, ridiculous. So stupid.
I love the running joke in this movie about the football team. And that they suck.
I think that was
and that everybody goes to the football games just for the cheerleaders.
Absolutely.
I love that.
That kind of, to be honest, I feel like that was my high school. It was more fun to watch like the powder puff football. Did you ever see that where the girls would play?
Yeah.
It was so much more fun. I don't know what it was about it, but like the cheerleaders, the bonfires, that's where it was for us.
I mean, are they going to be banning powder puff now because you can't do drag in Tennessee? So
listen,
and that's where high school football is like.
Oh yes. Tennessee. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All of those southern states.
So powder puff's canceled.
That's so stupid. No. It's the best freaking thing of the whole thing.
It's their intro to drag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh. In our public school, when I was in high school, our girls teams always did a little better.
Always. Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like ours did too. Tennis, always. Track. Powder puff. Our football team was okay, but basketball specifically.
Oh yeah,
they were great at. So yeah, it's just what is this 1943?
Yeah.
What's going on?
We did used to like going to our girls' school friends' basketball games. I mean, my friends were straight, so they liked going for different reasons. But their games were better. They were like, they had more hustle.
I will fully stand by. I love watching women's volleyball over men's volleyball because they volley more and it stays up in the air more.
Yeah,
and it's just so much more interesting to me. But yeah, I love watching women's sports.
Yeah.
Tell anyone in Tennessee that. Fuck you.
Absolutely. Oh my God. But yeah, they should have been wearing Speedos.
No, to come back to that.
I still won't let that go.
Yeah, well, it's just that kind of like, the 50-50 of if girls can be totally made to be the doll, the sex doll of, everyone's desire, we should be layering that with equal amounts.
I mean, this movie already has a pretty broad tone, so why not?
Yeah, exactly. Go for it. And in fact, I feel like they really missed something with the Les character of like, really go for it. Make him a homo.
Yeah.
Like, really go for it. And then maybe there's another homo who's not as homo, but still homo, and maybe have a side thing with them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a whole nother movie. Bring it on gay.
Because finally, at the very end, when we are at the competition, and it's interesting the way they shoot that scene, because they cut to him, and it's almost like he's psyching himself up to talk to this boy, right? And it's all we get. It's the little tiniest crumb.
I know.
We get it, but we got it, and we were glad of it. But it would have been fun to see him noticing him in a performance.
And that's the difference. If that had been, if they had rebooted Bring It On like they were trying to, those are the stories they could tell now. But back then, I guess that's all that the early aughts was giving us.
Yeah. We can get that the character's there, and then he actually talks to someone.
Yeah.
And it's nothing's explicit. He doesn't ask him out. They don't touch each other in any way.
But yet we say fag.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, all the homosexuals can pit-patter around their homosexuality, but yet Eliza's like, fag. It's so bonkers.
Yeah. But, I mean...
It's the sign of the times.
Yeah.
So,
and the representation mattered.
I was on Gabrielle Union's TikTok, and I saw an interesting little tidbit that she had of a fun fact of Bring It On.
Ooh.
And she says that when they tested the movie, the Clovers were liked so much that they went in and shot additional footage, but it was just for the trailer. So she said that they got all this footage of all of them, but they didn't cut it into the movie. Like, it was just to hook you in.
So they could do like TV spots
for the
and
trailer.
Stuff saying like, okay, this team. Okay.
And like,
ain't that some bullshit right there?
That's just so fucking white Hollywood. And also, not to mention, like, if I were her, I'd be like, okay, going to the screening and like, okay, where's that scene?
Yeah.
Where's
shot all this.
that scene? Where's all my coverage?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. This is a white person movie. I'm just making the point of it's so typical of Hollywood, and that's so disgusting.
Yeah.
But like, I love that she talks out about it because like she should. Like, it's not. We need a great equalizer.
And I think that she still has a great relationship with the movie. I think that she still really appreciates the Bring It On fans. Mm-hmm. But she's also going to tell tales out of school.
Well, wouldn't you? I would.
Yeah,
if I shot 3 more scenes and not one of them made the actual film, I would be like, what was going on?
And when you revisit this movie now, you're equally invested with them. So
they're my favorites.
Why can't you why can't we get more of them at practice? What Isis's home life is like. I'm curious about all of that.
I want a whole Clover movie. Like the Clover, just do Clovers. Like they're all great. Their choreography was better.
Yeah.
And like they all were in it more. Like there was a reason why like in high school we would all do, brr, it's cold in here.
Yeah, totally.
That was the one that was always quoted most. And there is a reason. Thank you, Gabrielle Union.
Like I feel like another movie would have had the rival school, like the montage of them practicing their routine for nationals. And
like, where was it?
Their realization of, we don't have the money, what are we going to do? And we did get the little scene of them writing the letter to Pauletta.
Yes.
But I think, like even like Revenge of the Nerds, all those kinds of movies, they always show both like the antagonist and the protagonist, and they always the montage of all that, and we just didn't get enough of it
because that's not the story.
Yeah,
it's like what
they just assumed that you wanted to watch the white kids.
Yeah.
But I mean, truthfully though, like that's why I'm glad she brings that up because that unto itself is its own entire issue.
Yeah, totally.
I was watching the EW reunion where it was Elijah Dushku, Jesse Bradford, Kirsten Dunst, and Gabrielle, and she was kind of mentioning that the original script did have kind of more of a, I mean, it's just kind of a white lady writing black characters.
Oh, sure.
And she mentioned that I think that she had some thoughts about some of the dialogue.
Well, I'm sure it was more sassy. Right, or the stereotypical.
Yeah, I think the girl. She kind of mentioned of like, this is too much.
Yeah.
Do you want really how I would say this line?
Yeah.
Well,
no.
Good.
Like, but that's what I really like. I've been watching a lot of her interviews and speeches and GLAAD and everything, and like, that's what actors should be doing, especially in a situation where people are writing for you, like literally, like I'm a white person, very The Help, right? Like here we are, girl, baby girl, do this, and it's like no, that's not. If I were in that situation, I'd be like, that's not gonna be what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Which, thank goodness.
Yeah.
I love that she's vocal.
Yeah. And it's interesting, though, that this movie does have the, like, white savior elements to it. But I feel like it's not as, I don't know, maybe as heavy-handed as the
Green Book
was, or Green Book. And so that we can, like, still watch it and have fun. And
well, and at the end, like, there's the camaraderie aspect. It does end up being okay, but there is like the drops, the little tastes of the white savior, which is kind of like, ooh, what flavor is this?
But at least she calls them out on it.
And, which is why it works. I think if it's very self-aware, which the movie is, it works. But I guess that there is a cut scene that these two characters end up going to college together and are on the same cheer team.
Huh. Oh.
I think that is on the deleted scenes.
Maybe it was like setting up for a sequel or something.
All right. Scott, you counted the amount of sequels. Did you say there were 6?
There were 5. 5. Bring it on again. Bring it on. All or nothing. Bring it on. In it to win it. Bring it on. Fight for the finish. Bring it on. Worldwide cheer smack. And bring it on. Cheer or die. And I think that one's kind of a horror movie.
Oh,
which is kind of fun. Which is kind of a fun direction to take, like a Bring It On movie.
I can do that one. Now, my question is: besides the first one, are they all straight to DVD?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. That like, I kind of wish like if they had done a college one in the theaters, I could see that doing well. Or also if we saw more of ISIS, like if they had done the other side, I think that would have made a good in movie. worth of that. But the others, like, what do you know the plot summaries of these?
Oh, no idea. I think
it's two rival schools?
It's essentially it's the first movie.
Oh, yeah,
I think that's the plot
so
of all of them.
How are they so successful?
I don't think that they're
for like TV, because like obviously it takes money to make these, even if it's TV on DVD. But like, I mean, why are there so many?
They must be turning some sort of a profit.
Yeah, they have to be. So
interesting.
Bring It On, Cheer or Die is a horror movie, and Missy Pyle plays the principal.
Work.
Okay, you sold me. I love Missy Pyle.
But I'm wondering, it's like, do they all just take place at Carne Verde? Like,
Carne Verde. I still can't get over the name of that.
Not the high school being called. What does it mean in Spanish?
Meat Ranch.
Not the high school being called the Meat Ranch High School.
Like, is there a through line at all other than the title? I wonder.
I think just the through line is that
cheer.
It's just a copy and paste of the formula of the first movie. And I think that they even go to Bring It On in one of these sequels to get them.
Like they
go to the meat school?
Like Bring It On exists as a movie in one of these films.
That's
I think that very meta.
I saw that earlier.
Okay.
I did not hear about this horror one though. I will say, if I'm going to watch one, it's that one.
Maybe that one. That's the one that came out in 2022.
Okay.
Oh, that's so recent.
Okay, so
Holy
do you two
shit.
remember the rival cheerleader movie that was released in 2001? That Marley Shelton ended up doing Sugar and Spice.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Cheerleaders robbing banks.
Hey, with the scary masks.
Yeah.
I remember that movie. Oh, yeah.
I never saw that one. And I know that
was okay.
I've toyed with programming on the show.
Yeah, yeah.
It has a cult following.
It's okay. I feel like
it does have a cult following, but it's just kind of one of those. It reminds me of like a Jawbreaker type movie.
Yeah.
Very niche. Mm-hmm. Like, okay. But like very like funny, hilarious, but like also kind of a little off.
Yeah. Now I wonder how Marley Shelton would have done in this role.
I mean, I think she would have done a good job.
I like Kirsten because it grounds at
with
we're laughing about the other characters being of a certain age, and I think she's the one that really brings it down. Like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
They're in high school.
She's believable.
Yeah.
Do you I have a question. Do you like Kirsten Dunst's acting?
Yes,
absolutely.
I pulled people because, like you said, she's polarizing a little bit.
My sister and her best friend did not like her when they were in high school.
Yeah, some people say she's very wooden and very not like as authentic, I guess, as they would like. Right. She's very she's always Kirsten Dunst and everything.
Okay,
and I don't really agree with that, but I'm always curious because I think she does what she does very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what makes movies like Marie Antoinette interesting is that when you add an actress that feels as contemporary and you put her in a historical role.
It works.
But that's the point of that casting.
Yes, exactly.
And I think a lot of people are just like, oh, she's not even trying.
That's what it is. Yeah, but it's like, no, but it's Kirsten Dunst. But what do you want her to do? Like totally get rid of herself 100%?
Yeah.
She brings herself to her roles, which I appreciate. But,
and in Marie Antoinette especially, everybody's using their natural accent.
Yes.
Rip Torn is not doing anything. He's, Louis the 15th or whatever.
Rip.
And
speaking of Marie Antoinette, I saw that Jason Schwartzman auditioned for the Jesse Bradford role.
Jason Schwartzman is Cliff?
Yep. Jason Schwartzman and James Franco.
Oh.
Okay, I can see Franco over the other one.
Yeah, Jason Schwartzman I've never been a big fan of.
I just feel... No, I won't say that. I'll be polite. I just feel like there's a level of, Rushmore, it makes sense.
He has to be dreamy.
He has to be
cute.
I'm so sorry. I hate to say it, but I'm sorry.
Drag him.
But I would rather the others make more sense. It's a Penn Badgley type character. Yeah, but Penn Badgley is still very fuckable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you know? But in a soft boy way, right? And I listen to music. Come over to my place.
Yeah. Jesse Bradford, he's so cute in this.
He's adorable.
And it's he did have Swim Fan, but he's not I guess, the most marketable person in 2023.
No.
Hasn't really been doing much.
Have they cast him as like somebody's dad on Riverdale yet?
I mean, that would make sense. They're
that would
burning
make
through
sense.
people. Yeah. They only have one more season to cast him, so they better act quickly.
No, Jesse Bradford's playing a teenager's dad in like a Netflix kissing booth movie.
That it absolutely tracks. I mean, the scariest part of the Swim Fan movie was like being chased by a Scientologist.
I was going to say being chased by Erica Christensen.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hardcore Scientologist.
Wanting to give you your like...
Yeah. She's like, no, you need
reading.
to audit.
Yeah.
Audit now.
I was like, oh, okay, he was in Magnum PI. No, one episode.
Okay, what has he been doing? What has Jesse been doing recently?
The last credit is a holiday movie on Hulu.
Oh,
okay.
Called Merry Kiss Cam.
Sorry.
And it seems to be like a hockey situation, like an ice hockey situation.
Oh, first of all, do you know...
Pucker up.
Oh, my God.
That's the
Do you
tagline.
know how big hockey romances are?
Is that like a subgenre?
I just found this out
Oh.
recently, especially in literary, because I love to read.
Okay.
But like the book community, especially women,
Yeah.
love...
I mean,
absolutely
hockey players
eat
are
up,
pretty
love
cute.
hockey romances.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and like there's a gay one actually called Him, which is great.
Okay.
But like most people who love these stories, heterosexual women, love gay hockey players in general. Just sidebar. Yeah. So that tracks. That makes sense. It's popular these days.
Yeah, so he's in that with gosh, IMDb doesn't even have like the
Listen, at least it's Hulu. I was
Yeah, it's a
expecting
Hulu
like
movie.
a Hallmark or Discovery Plus.
Yeah.
Get him
situation.
Get him on like Lindsay's Netflix deal. I want to see put him in like one of Lindsay's.
Are we excited for the Lohan baby?
I'm ready for her her Ireland romance that she just made with James Seymour.
Oh, the second Netflix movie?
The second
Wait.
Netflix movie.
Excuse me?
Oh, yeah, she has one in the can.
Wait, so we're doing... She's like, I just want locations. Give me locations.
Right.
It was going to be out.
I want mountains for the first one. I want Ireland for the second.
They still won't insure her.
I assumed it was going to be out in March, but maybe they're...
I've always been a Lindsay fan, and I'm really happy that she's actually seems to be in a pretty good spot now.
Yeah.
Good for her.
We'll see if... did she marry the guy?
She did?
Yeah, I think she did.
She's married. Yeah, that's her husband, I believe.
Okay, good.
And he's like a normie, right? Like he's not in the industry.
Yeah.
That's what she needed.
Well, because my thing, like with Paris, I'm like, I don't know if this guy's going to last. I think Paris just wanted a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like Paris was just like, I need a baby, and I need one fucking soon.
Yeah, give it to me now.
Like 42.
I know I look 30,
Yeah.
but like low key, my eggs are dying.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, and he seems very like. Did you watch the reality show at all?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was like them getting married on Peacock.
Yeah.
And like he just seems very like kind of stiff for her.
Sure.
Like she's so silly and goofy, and he just seems very like rigid kind of. But hey, I guess opposites attract.
Maybe that's the type of guy that she needs.
Yeah.
I'm really glad Kirsten's career within the past few years, I think especially with just all the acclaim of Power of the Dog, that she was able to have her moment.
Fargo.
And Fargo. That, I mean, look at somebody. I mean,
can we talk about Fargo for a second?
I've only seen the first episode of her season where she hits the guy with the car, but
You
loved everything that I saw of it.
Need to watch.
Okay.
Season 2.
All right.
Of Fargo. She
Loved everything
is
that I saw in it.
Phenomenal. Not to mention probably the most talented married couple in Hollywood, would you say?
Right?
Jesse
Jesse
Plemons.
Plemons is fantastic.
Yeah.
And she is fantastic. And this is, I think, because they also had like a thing going on. The
Right.
chemistry in that season, you have, oh my God, it's so good. She is fantastic.
Okay.
I will say that is something I forgot that when I watched it, I was like, this is amazing.
Sure.
She is amazing.
Okay.
Truly.
You were mentioning Easy A earlier.
Yes. I love that film.
I would imagine that when she was watching a movie, or like the career of Emma Watson, and she wins the Oscar.
Emma Stone?
Or
yeah.
Imagine Emma
watching
Watson.
like I know.
Oh.
Well, it was almost Emma Watson in La La Land. Oh, did you know that?
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
did
it was
not.
conceived. It was conceived with. I think you wrote it with Emma Watson in mind.
Okay,
And
interesting.
I think reshoots went long on Beauty and the Beast, and she couldn't do it.
Oh,
but
shoot.
I mean, Emma Stone got her Oscar.
Yeah, she
and
did.
I'm sure that Kirsten Dunst was just like, well, I put in the work.
Yeah.
Where's the roles like that for me?
Yeah.
And that's why it was so great to see her get all of these nominations for Power of the Dog, is that you really just kind of, it's all of these years of hard work getting rewarded for this role.
Well, and I remember her in an interview, she said, like, well, when Jane Campion comes to you and says, can you be in my movie? You have to say yes.
Yeah.
What's her name? Other Scientologist couldn't do it.
Who was it?
Mad Men.
Elizabeth Moss.
Elizabeth Moss, I think, had to drop out.
Oh, God. And so then she was like, Kirsten Dunst. Well, interesting. It's such an interesting, because they seem so, like, different.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like, very different energy.
Yeah, I think that was conceived with Elizabeth Moss in mind.
That makes sense, though, because that role is a very Elizabeth Moss role.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. I can see that.
Oh, Power of the Dog.
Kirsten Dunst's career is wild.
Oh, yeah.
Too, when you look back.
It's wild when you look back in the 90s that she did, like,
a lot of TV
Little
movies.
Women. Hold on, Little Women, Interview with the Vampire, Jumanji. All those movies back to back.
Yeah.
Like, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Did she even go to school?
I don't think she did. I mean, she must have. I think she probably had an onset tutor.
Right.
But, like, she probably, I feel like she's got to be socially a little stinted. Just because, like, you know what I mean? Like, growing up in Hollywood is not the normal experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it makes sense that she would marry an actor, too, because, like, they get it.
Right.
But I would love to sit at their table for a dinner. What do they talk about?
I want to go have a cigarette with them in the
Oh, yeah.
And I think that she's also really lucky that Sofia Coppola came a knockin'. I think that,
I mean, that's her
when
muse.
she made Virgin Suicides, that was a complete just.
Oh, yeah. It was like, oh, she's
turning
the
point of
indie
her
darling
career.
now.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there was portions of her career as a young actress where she was doing these big movies, but then still going back and doing
TV stuff.
Yep. 15 and Pregnant and, like, all these crazy TV movies. So it's like, I don't know if it was just a situation where she was just paying the bills, and
I'm sure her team
everything.
was just like, here you go.
Yeah,
you know, here's what you have right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that it's not one of those things that was she paying like her parents' mortgage.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's always something.
She was, you guys.
That's always something that happens with child actors.
You have to keep in mind, like, most of the time when they're that young. I mean, she was like started when she was 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah,
doing commercials and
Brooke
stuff,
Shields?
right? So, like, exactly,
Brooke Shields
like
talks all about that.
No, but like at that age, I'm sorry, you do not have the agency to say this is what I want to do.
Right.
So
that movie,
the money is going to the parents.
Yeah,
1,000%. But honestly, not a lot of kid actresses could have done what she did in Interview with a Vampire. That is a very tricky role.
She truly understand acting.
Yeah.
And
like that is not many actresses at that age could do that. So it makes sense. It does make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And I don't know, we just kind of stand like nowadays. It's like, I think that she is, I hesitate to say looking her age, but it's like, I don't know.
Normal.
I think she looks great.
What a hack.
She looks, I think, she's.
How dare she age?
How dare she look 40? But
no, but it's kind of nice to see her age gracefully, right?
And she looks great. And it's like, yes, she's had kids, but it's not like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, how are you so thin after having babies? That doesn't seem healthy to me.
That's the industry, man. It's so toxic.
Yeah. But it's like there are times, and even in Power of the Dog, it's like teenage Kirsten Dunst is so tiny. She's so thin. So it's like, it's like there is the potential for her to be like, certain type of women in Hollywood that just immediately go back to, 102 pounds after having a baby.
It's
and she's
nuts.
just like,
I think she kind of was like, oh, fuck this. Like,
yeah.
I want to, why is this about, but that's the difference of like the early aughts versus now is like, people are like, why do I need to starve myself to work? Like, she's like, I've been here. I've been working.
I remember when she was doing press for The Beguiled and she had to have the conversation with Sophia of, I'm not getting skinnier for this movie. Just like, you got me. We are shooting in the South. It is 100 degrees out.
Yeah.
it's not happening.
You better give me those
Yeah.
po' boys. You better give me those beignets.
Oh my God.
You better give me all the southern tea, all the sweet tea.
Put me in a corset, just don't tie very tight.
But I love that. And I love that like her and Jesse just seem like they're, I don't know. It just seems like she's like very grounded.
Yeah.
I feel like I watched an interview with her not too long ago. It was like her timeline on Vanity Fair or GQ or something. Where it goes, the timeline of my career. Mm-hmm. And she's saying something like, you know, as I age, I've realized like I don't have to try as much. Like I also can be very picky with what I want to do now. Yeah. You know, which I love for her because clearly in the beginning of her career, her management team or whoever was like, do this and that and a little this. And now she's finally in a good spot.
Yeah.
So.
And we started seeing really great things. But like you said earlier, with her comedies, I think the choices have always been very interesting and very cool.
Especially in the late 90s that she did Dick and Drop Dead Gorgeous in the same year.
Do you think she's friends with Michelle Williams still?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, maybe they text back and forth.
I like to think so.
Yeah.
I like to think
they
friendly.
just seem so like they really do play well off of each other and Dick so well that I'm like, this feels like also natural.
I like to think that they're like texting buddies,
right? Like, hey, how you doing, Michelle?
Yeah. A Christmas card. But you know, something like Drop Dead Gorgeous, like just the style of comedy is so specific and people love it. You know, and I think Dick is so underrated.
Oh, it's very underrated.
As a comedy. It's so funny.
What's surprising too is Drop Dead Gorgeous. I know we all obviously most gays do, but a lot of people don't know that movie.
Right.
No,
and I'm like, how?
Very specific person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, like I'll make references. No, freaking. Oh my gosh, Denise Richards.
Yeah.
When people go, oh yeah, I saw her on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I was like, first of all, how dare you, Stormtroopers? But first of all, that movie is her, Kirstie Alley, pre everything,
pre cuckoo banana.
You know, like that's an iconic movie. Wow, like actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Kirsten Dunst kind of has the career most people would want.
Right?
Yeah,
a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
truly.
And the stuff that she does when she branches out into those areas, like I'm saying, these comedies are all fucking cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like they're all really cool, really funny. She doesn't really have too many like stinkers that you can think of when it comes to, you know, doing kind of like those genre movies. And then it's like, okay, when she did dip her toe into like the genre sci-fi comic book, she fucking hit the jackpot.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You know, granted, I feel like both of them in Spider-Man 3 feel like they're kind of sleepwalking through. All three of them.
Spider-Man 3 though.
But you know,
that movie's a whole nother episode.
But hey,
real.
But it's like
that's a dissertation.
But
how one movie ruined a franchise.
Yeah, but she got that check.
Listen, and she made the most money from it too.
Yeah.
Isn't that the irony?
That's the one.
She got that meme.
That's the one. She got
that
meme from Spider-Man
too. Where she's like looking back and
he's
like
a verse bottom, but he can top if you really need him to.
Is that from 3?
It's from the first movie.
Oh, okay.
It's when she's yelling back at Alcide from True Blood.
Got it.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah. So she's pretty successful in whatever kind of genre you throw her in.
She's truly, and talk about someone who's literally grown up on sets.
Yeah.
Like she has literally a cinema darling.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see if in like 10 more years we get her tell-all expose. But
I mean, do you think she's going to be like a Judi Dench where she just works until she's 90?
Hey, why not?
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, because she does seem kind of very like grounded as like a person. I mean, I don't know.
She's kind of like
her interviews though are very much so that
from the Earth, Nicole Kidman.
Yes. Oh my god. When are we getting AMC 2? AMC Act 2. Have you guys seen? I'm sure you've seen the movies.
Would you dare?
Yeah, I mean,
another one though.
I mean, well, she's signed up to do a second one.
Oh,
but it hasn't been shot yet.
Dare you even touch that commercial?
As long as
how you
Nicole,
make it? Yeah, I want her on a soundstage in a director's chair with all of the equipment around her.
Yeah,
playing all of the different roles, like gaffer. like I want Nicole doing everything around the set, setting the frame, setting the shot. I want her to show us now how movies are made.
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
First part was her in
in.
the theater. Now we're seeing how the movie is made.
But is she in the
Absolutely the pantsuit?
suits, the pantsuit?
Oh yes, you can't get rid of that thing.
Yeah.
They need to add more jewels to
the
it,
loose
but they can't.
side pony.
That was the most. That was the number one gay costume of Halloween last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't get rid of it. I mean, if you are, she's got to be in something even better.
Our friend Matt did the costume. He bought.
Oh, I thought he did the original costume. I was like,
oh, he did the costume for Halloween. He bought a suit that kind of matched, right color, right cut.
Because I don't think that there's the Nicole Kidman AMC bag costume.
But
that you get
not
from,
yet.
oh,
yeah.
that one was
Spirit. Yeah,
movie theater spokeswoman.
Yeah.
But he got
Unlicensed.
the suit. But it was just gray, dark gray. Didn't have the stripes, and they hand like
Was it bedazzled?
But it was like a glitter glue.
Oh my god!
They like hand glitter glued, and they were
Respect.
straight lines. I was
Listen,
like, "Bitch,
respect.
You did the thing. on
You
this
are the
fucking-"
queen of AMC. Fuck Angela Bassett.
Yeah,
you did the thing, baby.
It was a pretty successful costume, but yeah,
It's so iconic. It's iconic.
I'm telling you, I'll never forget the day that we saw Megan, B at the Sunset 5.
Yep.
And C when Nicole came on screen. Those faggots were
People
losing
lost
their mind.
damn mind.
You guys, people stand up and recite the thing.
Yeah.
People pledge their allegiance to Nicole Kidman.
That's a little much.
It's insane, but it goes. It shows you like, wow, how do you predict something like that?
Yeah.
Could they? But did they know? Did Nicole know?
We're gonna make a viral video.
I mean, she made.
We're gonna make
Like
it
when she was
viral.
filming, because it's so funny because the trajectory of it started like it seemed like people were like, "Ooh, this is
Right?
cringe."
Yeah. What is this?
2 weeks later, yes, Nicole.
Living.
Like you know,
And bitch, do you remember when they shortened it? They tried
and
to
people
shorten
said,
it.
No,
There was
I need
there was
her
a-
coming out onto the little pond of water, the little
We need-
droplets out of the car.
We want
I
the
need to see
clips
the heel
of. We want the
go.
clips
We need that
of the Lost
stiletto.
World.
Yeah.
We need Creed.
I need that stiletto clomping through
into the puddle. And if
every
there's no
time.
puddle, there's no
I'm
magic.
out.
I can't. People have tattooed the monologue onto them. People have made shirts. It's nuts.
We have an enamel pin. That's as far as we've
That's
gone.
okay.
Yeah.
That's you know what. That's as far.
That's as far as we go.
That's getting a tattoo of the monologue of the AMC is
Yeah.
a little intense.
Yeah.
It's like wow, really prove your allegiance.
But hey, I would be there for Kiki.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
We should probably wrap this up.
Yes.
Any last thoughts about Bring It On? I can't believe this movie is 23
I mean,
years
Yeah,
old.
I mainly just feel
I think
old.
I've been saying
Yeah, yeah.
22 years. It's 23 years old.
That's nuts.
That shit is wild.
I think Bring It On is something that was of an era. It's still very beloved.
Mm-hmm.
It brought a lot of stars out of it, right?
I mean, also this director Peyton Reed. I mean, he's gone
what
on
else?
to do Ant-Man.
Okay, word. So he's
He
still
did,
working.
Yeah.
He did the Ant-Man movies and the breakup with
Vince
Jen
Vaughn.
and Vince Vaughn.
Wow. Also very eclectic.
yeah, I was gonna
Very
say,
different movies.
wide, far-reaching.
Interesting.
Okay.
And I think he's a straight man. Interesting.
That is interesting too.
I read all of Jesse Bradford's band T-shirts in this movie belonged to Peyton Reed, the director.
Oh,
That white,
they were all his.
that white class shirt looked a little too new, though.
They all looked pretty new. I was like, I don't know about this bit of trivia.
What did you? So you know more about music than I do. How did his guitar playing look? Did it look pretty fake?
Well,
We had this conversation when we watched Freaky Friday of how Lindsay
no.
is like fake playing the guitar.
It was okay because the track was really choppy and he was jumping all over the place, so you couldn't really see how much of what he was doing. But I buy it.
Do you think was he actually playing it though, or was he
Probably not. I
Okay.
think he was miming it.
Yeah.
but the miming was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, better than Tara Reid's drumming and
Oh,
Josie and the
Terry.
Pussycats.
Oh, baby girl. I saw her outside of a Mexican restaurant on Sunset the other day.
Ooh, all 85 pounds.
I thought, well, first of all, I turned around and someone was clutching on my elbow. And I thought it was a homeless person. And it was Tara Reid.
Oh wow!
And then I turned around and she said, "Do you know where the restroom is?" And I was like, So sad. Oh, no. Like, I was actually sad because I remember she was the bombshell.
Yeah,
I know we're finishing up, but oh my gosh. But it was of that era of like, I'm just glad that Kirsten has evolved. No offense to Tara Reid. I hope you get the help you need, girl.
Yeah.
But Kirsten has evolved around the same time of the era of the American Pie films. And now, Power of the Dog.
Yeah.
I love that. I think this movie is very of an era, and I love that it's still kind of, people still know it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it definitely has that kind of, not reputation, but like you said, it was just on at work the other day. People just... You can just watch it. It's one of those movies. If it's you're scanning through the channels and it's on TBS, I'll sit down and watch.
Lin-Manuel Miranda made a fucking. I saw it. A Broadway show.
A pretty successful.
Yeah, I had a few friends who were in it actually,
Broadway
and it was. I didn't know. It was okay, but I was like, okay, and Taylor Louderman and a lot of big Broadway people, Janet Krupa, a whole bunch of people came out of that thing. So it still lives on.
Yeah,
and people are still performing Bring It On the musical IP around the world, even though it's not on Broadway.
Right.
So
we could still be holding out for the Hulu limited series. Bring It On.
Oh my God,
you never know.
Listen, I just
still could do it
as long as it's from ISIS's point of view or Les's point of view. Then okay.
I mean.
And I don't want to see any.
Give me the gay love story.
And I don't want to see any bullshit of like the kids are the main characters.
No. Absolutely not. No.
They're going to be doing a cheer competition, Palm style, with like the Diane Keaton movie. They're going to be going back.
Some 80 for Brady.
Oh my God! Not referencing that film. Oh my God! I love that so much. Oh God.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Okay,
I always have so much fun with you.
Okay, so
likewise.
You are a tour guide at Universal Studios.
Yes.
I will tell you, when I was a kid, that. Dream job right there.
A lot of people say that. What? Okay, if I may ask, what about it?
It just seems like so much fun. I mean, you get to be around all these movie sets. And at least when I was a kid, it seemed very... it's still improv. But I know that you have a script. But it also just seemed very off the cuff. Like, hey,
you can add your personality.
I'm your tour guide. Yeah. And that's what's so much fun about us doing it, because... Still, my favorite thing to do in Los Angeles. We have passes. My favorite thing to do is to get a beer and sit on the Universal backlot tour.
Oh my gosh! And you guys would also be really good at it because you're really good with movies and you're funny.
We're really good with movies, and I'm so familiar with that tour of that. I know the various choose your own adventure routes.
Then
like when shit's closed, this is going to be where you're going to go.
Okay, well Thursday's my next shift, so I'm going to bring you my uniform.
I will.
And then I'm just going to imaginarily disappear,
Yeah,
that's so cute. It's funny, though, that you say that, because when I was an annual pass holder, before I worked there for 10 years, I used to love the tour. It was my favorite thing. The front lots, specifically by the sound stages, where most people find boring.
Yeah.
But because I do acting, too, I was like, oh, this is so magical.
The really famous...
So magical. It's so cool.
What's the lot number of the really famous lot where they shot...
The stage, you mean?
Which stage?
It's like... Where the
psycho scene?
Where the Phantom set is.
It's no longer. It's literally Super Nintendo World.
They bulldozed it for Super Nintendo World? I did not know that.
It was like stage 27, I believe, but literally it died 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so now when you go to Super Nintendo World, you can feel the Phantom's energy all around you.
I always thought that it was the big stage right when you go down the hill.
No, so that one is stage 12. So that, oh my God, fucking World of Dance. That is that's like Scarface, Frankenstein, Jurassic Park.
Because I know that's a really big. That's a really big stage.
Until the new ones came in, that was the largest stage. That's where The Voice used to film.
Right. Yeah.
And then now they're in stage 31.
My favorite little fun fact that they do not tell you, or actually maybe you say it, the Psycho House, not for the original movie. I think it is for one of the sequels. Do you know what sequel it was built for?
It's the second one.
I would assume that it was the second one.
Yeah, and then someone had said it was the Vince Vaughn one, but I was like,
no, it's not.
How dare you?
I remember when
they covered it up.
I remember when the Psycho remake came out. They had both of them side by side.
Yep. Oh yes, but I will say it is still the original Bates
From-
Motel sign.
Yeah. Oh,
the sign is the
Work.
OG sign.
Love it.
I've always been curious if that's the exact place on the lot where they did the original. Because, I mean...
Everything has moved a little bit slightly.
I was going to say everything has kind of moved a little bit.
The Psycho House and the Bates Motel have kind of been moved around a little bit. But they've been in their current position for a while.
No longer next to Whoville.
No. R.I.P. Whoville. You guys have taken the tour since, hopefully, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's all the cars.
It's all the cars now. It's all the picture cars. Yeah, and I always go, the Who's had to move because their neighbor was so terrible. Everybody.
People will lose their mind when they see Dom's car.
Always.
Yep.
I mean, it is the most popular franchise we have. Not only is 10 coming out soon, but 11 is already greenlit. Like, you guys, it's absurd.
Doing the tour. Okay, one last question. Doing the tour, what's the craziest thing that's ever just happened as you're doing it?
That is such a loaded question because there are insane things that have happened.
People pulling the cord. I
once had, I'll just give you a couple of short ones. There was a woman who projectile vomited black liquid from stage 12 all the way to the back lot, and I thought she needed an exorcism. I told her to leave. I was like, do you need to leave? No, she's fine. Her husband said, no, pretty sure she's dying. We should call a thing for a van for her. She's fine. More black liquid. It was literally terrifying. Then another liquid story. A dad pulled the E-cord. By the time I was back there, he was literally Mufasa style, like with Simba, holding his kid up off of the side, penis out, pissing onto literal bushes across from the picture cars.
Well, when you gotta go, I guess.
But those are two of probably 18 million things that I could tell you. But like, it is the craziest job because I also do VIP tours. So a lot of the times I get the worst. I like Brentwood people the other day. I'm pretty sure they were on cocaine. I had to take them to Ock Health. Like, that place is nuts. It's nuts. But it's, good times. Come to Universal, everybody. The studio capital of the world.
Of Hollywood. Of California?
Yes. Of the world. The world, honey.
Entertainment capital.
But thank you guys so much for having me on. I always have such a fun time.
Yes, so glad that we got you back on.
Absolutely. Anytime. Anytime.
All right. Well, we have to plan for something for you to come back.
No, please. I would love to. I'll talk until my face is blue.
Play him out with Mickey.
Excellent.
Oh, play me out. Play me out, baby.
Alrighty. Well,
bye.
Hey, mashup. And thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Thanks so much. I love that we finally got to this movie, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. And this episode was filled with lots of fun little tidbits inside stories, so that was a lot of fun. But I think it's about that time.
Patreon shout-outs? Let's hear them.
Yes, it's time for some Patreon shout-outs. So we'd like to say hello and thank you so much to all of our wonderful patrons, including Andrew, Laura, Rhett, Mitch, Thomas, Dan, Dan C, and Dan H, Whirly Flower Frog, Brenna, Jessa Rabbit, Lawrence, Danielle, Lisa, Alexis, Thomas, Mark, Jackson, Millie, Ted, Benny, Jermel, Melanie, Susan, JJ, Shelby, Michael, Heather, Jamie, Drew, Genevieve, Dawn, Josh, Emily, Melly, Aaron, Jessica, Nick and Shannon, Christine, and finally Rufino.
Thank you so much.
You guys, thank you so much. Your donations
really means
go
a lot.
Really, really far to keeping the show up and running, ad-free, every week.
When you get the $10 level, you'll get all of the awesome Watch With Us commentaries.
Yes.
We'll have a new one out very, very soon.
Over 30 Watch With Us commentaries. If you're not familiar, we pick a movie, we watch the movie, and we record a commentary track as we're watching the movie. We give you instructions on how to sync it up to watch the movie yourself if you have it at home, or you can just listen to it as a bonus episode, and it works really well that way too. So there's over 30 of those, and if you do the $10 level, you have access to all of those. And if you can't do a monthly recurring subscription, just do 1 time, 1 month, 2 extra. Well, nowadays 1 extra value meal, and you got access for 30 days or for the rest of the month to all 30 of those commentary tracks. You get all of our back issues of the newsletter. You get access to all of our behind the scenes photos, seasonal playlists, all that fun stuff. So head over to patreon.com/movies that made us gay for more information. We'd also love it if you would rate, review, and follow the subscribe to the show.
Yeah, give us 5 stars, write a nice review. We'd love to read them.
Yes, indeed. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or if you listen on Spotify, you can give us a star rating, and we'd love it to get a 5-star rating. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and write us a review. It's simple, it's easy, it's free, and it helps us out a lot. And if you are walking around a big box, electronics store with laptops on display, go ahead and find the podcast and give us 5 stars while you're in Best Buy.
Play the episode. I do it. Mm-hmm.
Every little bit helps. But you can find us on all the social medias. We're out there. We're at Movies That Made Us Gay on Instagram and over on Facebook. And we're on Twitter.
At MTMUG Pod.
Yes, indeed. So go and give us a like, give us a follow. You can follow our personals if you care to. My name is Pete. I'm at Peter Lasagna on Instagram, and I'm still on Twitter. Rarely post, but I'm still there.
Scott Youngballer on Instagram, and follow my letterbox.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for listening once again. We'll be back next week with a fresh episode.
Bye.
Bye.